Today we look at a Town Hall 9 attack that can beat any base. Now I really think this strategy is the best for Town Hall 9 if you can master it. It is very difficult, it will require some practice, but that is what this video will try and help you with. Break down exactly how to do it throughout the video, so make sure to stick around for all of the tips, but let's get into it. Alrighty then guys, let's dive into this. It is the Queen Charge into LavaLoon, and the reason I chose this base first is that it's actually meant to defend the LavaLoon, and yet we 3-star it anyways. Now why is it meant to defend it? You might be thinking this base looks kind of funky. The reason is we have all of the wizard towers stacked together, which you might think is a poor idea, but it's really difficult to defend everything. People have to choose which strategy they want to defend, and in this case we have the wizard towers not necessarily next to the air defense, so it does mean that the wizard towers can basically take out the balloons, and the lava hounds will leave the balloons vulnerable if we were to come in from this area, which kind of makes sense because the sweepers are pointing in the opposite directions. So if we were to come in straight to the air defense, the sweepers push our hounds back. So we can't really attack from either side because the wizard towers will take out the balloons when they are vulnerable. However, with a Queen Charge, we can break down the base ever so slightly in order to mean that the LavaLoon works way better. So the first thing you need to know about your Queen Charge is making sure you get her into the base in the first place. If she walks, then the attack is pretty much over. You want to do that with some funneling troops. The best opportunity to do this is a baby dragon on one side and a king on the other side. That's your one barbarian king. I say that as if there's more than one, but you get the idea. Then the queen will be drawn into the base. Now this is really important, guys. We also had the test wall breakers to allow the 3 wall breakers to get through. Now the reason we will do that is in case there are any small bombs. Now I do pause the replays ever so slightly if the attack gameplay is getting ahead of my commentary, but basically at this point we've broken access into the base, the queen is going to be drawn onto the inside, and we've also lured the clan castle troops, which is brilliant in terms of a Lalo, because balloons attack defenses, they won't attack the clan castle troops, so if you know what's in there and it's going to be a threat to the balloons, you're going to have to take it down. Now up to that top area of the base, the queen has managed to take out 2 air defense, took out the clan castle troops. Just going to start niggling away at the wizard towers here shortly. Let's have a look at the rage spells. That should try and encompass both the queen and the healers to make sure that you are encompassing all of that. It will speed the queen up, and it also means the healers do a better job. I'll pause very briefly here as the Lalo comes in, because notice we have lava hounds from separate angles to the air defense. Now the reason we do that is exactly what you see here, trying to take out red bombs primarily, because the black bombs, they're not as big of a threat to the balloons, but essentially if we bring them in at 2 separate angles, we've got better chance of getting them whilst also covering more defenses. The lava hounds will go to different areas of the air defense. I know it's very slight, but it still might be enough to distract more than just the one defense. But also what I want you to note is the balloons coming in to the different defenses here. Roughly at Town Hall 9, it is 3 per point defense. That's a very rough guide for you guys. As you get a bit more advanced, you want to look at what type of defense is it. So for example, a mortar, you might not need as many balloons as an archer tower, but what you want is as the balloons get in, they take it down. So notice how the cannon, they had to hover over, but as they get to the air defense, it goes straight down. As they get to the archer tower, it goes straight down, because balloons will do greater damage initially, so you want to take advantage of that. Try and get them to one-shot the defense. Now this is where the sweeper is pushing our loons back, and it could be tempting to put in that spell ahead of time, but the queen, stuck on the walls, hasn't been able to get to the wizard wizard towers, and we need the rage spell to get through the wizard towers. The wizard towers are splash defenses, so when your balloons clump, as they naturally will, to the end of the raid, you've got to make sure that they will go down. And we also need to make sure we can rage over the queen so she can go down with a skeleton spell. So very patient, and then the balloon will get over the top of the queen with the rage. They're not going to be as slow over that area, so they'll get to the splash. They're away from the queen faster than you can think about it, and also the skeletons obviously took the queen down in terms of the rage spell as well. But an important point I never mentioned was that the wizard tower was distracted up to the queen, which meant the skeleton spells could be used, because you don't want to put your skeleton spells in if a wizard tower is just going to take them out. That's kind of what I mentioned at the very start of the raid. And guys, we have lots of other tips for this attack strategy, so let's move on to the next attack. We should be able to talk you through this replay a little bit quicker than the last one, because you've got a basic idea of the Queen Charge LavaLoon, but now we have a more traditional base which is going to be taken out. So the queen will be charged right into the center, and what you always want to try and take out with that queen charge, as we mentioned in the last attack, is pathing for the LavaLoon. That's probably your number one thing. Otherwise, you can't always control your LavaLoon, but also trying to get good value. Now, the enemy queen should be a big target, whether that's as part of the queen charge, as you will see here, or whether it's with a skeleton spell from your LavaLoon. You have to make sure she is a pivotal part of your plan. Now, a couple of things I want to make note here. The one balloon coming forward, this is part of a test balloon, or otherwise known as a coconut loon. You basically send this in to try and set off black bombs to protect your healers. They are worth 14 troop capacity versus a balloon worth 5. So you want to send them in, try and incorporate it through the rage spells as well. Also, the wall breakers, notice that they are coming in through the rage spells as well, because they can get better access through the base when you've got that rage spell. So always try to get double value if you can, and all I mean by that is you're going to be raging your queen quite a lot. As you can see, again, healers, they get pushed out of the rage, but they were inside. You want your healers and the queen inside that rage spell, and you want to, this is really important, I can't really give you a good example of it now, but you want to rage well enough in advance so your queen is not low health. If you rewind back ever so slightly in this replay, you'll see what I mean. The rages come in as you know she's stepping into that area where she's going to be getting extra damage, and you're going to need it. You don't want to wait until she's too low on health, because the healers don't heal perfectly in one straight line. They will gradually heal up, and you want to make sure that you are keeping her at full health. Now, unfortunately, the Barbarian King did lure the Clan Castle troop. It was a Lava Hound across to this side of the base. However, it has come back across towards the Archer Queen. Sometimes you can lure it with the archers that are in the army composition here. And that just means that as your LavaLoon comes in, the minions aren't going to pop the Lava Hound and make sure that it struggles to get through the base in time. Now, it's also important to notice the spells. You want to use haste spells on the perimeter of the base, and what that will do is power the balloons forward to do one of two things. It will either help them to catch up to the Lava Hounds and take down the air defense to protect the Lava Hounds, or let's say the Lava Hounds leave the balloons totally vulnerable, it helps the balloons get through to protect the loons. That's the main purpose. However, otherwise, you will want to use them over areas of splash, such as wizard towers. Make sure that your haste spells are used to get you to the wizard towers. Now, I also want to note one little thing which could have happened here, which wasn't, but it's a real hard thing to do. You can notice that we have the balloons in this top area, the queen has gone down, and whenever you do a queen charge, just know that your healers might be left over. What you can actually do is use a ground-based troop, and it has to be a wizard or higher, to draw the healers across. So what we could have done is put a wizard up to the top of the base here, that would have drawn the healers up to the wizard, and by doing that, you're actually able to tank some of the defenses to help protect your loons, whilst also checking for traps in terms of the black bombs and the red bombs, as we referenced earlier. So a real top tip there in terms of the healers. You will actually see them coming down towards the wizard in a second when the wizard is deployed, as soon as the final defense goes down. So in comes the wizard, across goes the healers. That's where you can use that technique to try and help you out at the end of a Queen Charge LavaLoon. Now I really think that we should break down another replay so that we've given you tips across a variety of bases, and then I will send you across to, I think, the best Town Hall 9 attack strategy for a variety of players. Whilst this final replay is not versus a maxed Town Hall 9, it does showcase a couple of tips that we haven't mentioned so far in the video. So let's go ahead and dive into it. The main one being the earthquake spells. Now, you have seen in the previous replays, the wall breakers, they can be difficult to use. You've got to send in test wall breakers, combine them with the rage if you can, but they are really difficult to use. I would recommend you try and use the wall breakers, because it just means that you've got a better versatility with this strategy. But in some cases, don't complicate it. The earthquake spells open up access right into the center of the base. It's going to lure the queen straight in here, not to mention that the enemy archer queen is in the center of the base. So the earthquakes really provide good value, and actually it helps the queen to get through the base quicker, because a lot of the buildings in this area are already down to about 50%. Due to the earthquake spells. So that is really useful. Now guys, I also want to let you know about my Town Hall 9 playlist. I'm going to very briefly show you it on the screen. This is what it looks like on my homepage. Be sure to check it out if you want to see all of the Town Hall 9 strategies. It will be down in the pinned comment, and also all of the playlists I have are always referenced in the description of every single video. So back to this one, the Archer Queen has done the things we've talked about in the previous attack, right? We've carved out this area of the base so the LavaLoon can move around a little bit easier. We've took out the enemy queen, we've took out the enemy clan castle, took out wizard tower, air defenses, main defenses that are dangerous for the LavaLoon, whilst also creating that pathing. That's the main thing I want you to get from the Queen Charge. And remember, if your Queen Charge goes horribly wrong, the LavaLoon is going to be really difficult to recover. So this is actually the portion you need to get right. If you have to take extra troops in order to get that funnel set up, then do that. You can always use them as cleanup troops or distraction troops for a back-end wizard tower or something like that as you move through. But another important point that I haven't mentioned so far in the video is that the queen is still charging through the base, and yet the LavaLoon is started. Again, we've got that surgical approach. You're trying to take out the defenses on the perimeter to push the loons through the center of the base. Otherwise, they can be drawn all over the place. You want to condense their fire to the main defenses, and that is wizard towers mainly. Get them down ASAP. Also notice the balloons coming to the back end of the base. That, in this case, was actually to try and take out the archer tower, drive the balloons up to this area with the wizard tower and the expo. But actually what you can do, let's say with this back end wizard tower, is save one balloon. Send it in to distract the wizard tower, so you've only got one balloon taking damage instead of a huge group. Now in this case, again, it wasn't a maxed base, but the queen got through, took that area out, and that's the beauty of merging things in and keeping your queen alive. If ever you can do that, it's obviously a really, really good thing, and you want to do that. So that attack strategy for Town Hall 9, in my opinion, beats any base. But if you want to know the best Town Hall 9 attack strategy for a variety of players, I think more people can use this, be sure to check it out. I've linked it on your screen right here. You will enjoy that one and find it useful as well. But I will catch you guys tomorrow. Until then, have a good one.